Dr. Resh, you can start now.
Okay. So very good morning to everyone. I hope I am audible. Today we are going to discuss about research methodology, block one. So we had a previous class discussed about how research in social sciences, regardless of any subject, how we can make it very scientific. Why in social science we call research is scientific? How we can make it systematic? Okay. So these are the areas we discussed. We are continuing the same block. We are moving towards fourth and fifth unit of the block, understanding in deeper on philosophical background in research and the theoretical background in research. So these are the two broad areas that we are going to discuss and learn today. And before that, we let just recap what we have learned in the previous class so that it will support us to remember and recall what we have learned so that when we move towards unit 4 and 5 of the block, it will be helpful for us. So as always, I say, you can ask and stop me at any time the questions if you want to get clarity because it's a research paper. We need to understand that there will be a lot of questions and deeper we learn to we tend to have deeper understanding on that. I think my PPT is shared. So this is what we have learned, meaning and nature of society. So we understood what is society is all about. So society is a group of individuals living together in a structured community, and it includes shared customs, laws, and values and institutions. For example, if you take a tribal community for an example, tribal society, right? So if you take that as an example, you see that they are living together in a structured way, and their customs, regardless to marriage, birth, death, or common, and they follow it very strictly, and they adhere to those customs and laws. So basic understanding. So you take any examples of any society, they have a kind of values, customs, which is written or unwritten. So, sociological versus common sense understanding that we also discussed that common sense that a person, a layman's perspective, they understand the society or sociology in a different way. They say this is a group of people or something like that. But sociology or sociologist uses scientific observation, evidence, and analysis to understand the deeper uh, living or the deeper knowledge on how this society is moving. Society is formed, how the society is evolving from one stage to another, right? So sociological thinking is objective, while common sense can be biased or emotional. That's what we have learned in the previous class. And social reality, objective and subjective elements. We learned about what is objective and the subjective. As a researcher, we must be more objective than subjective, right? So when we say the term subjective, it is more of bias, right? So we tend to have certain understanding on, or we perceived, or we are taught by our parents or relatives about a particular concept on the society or a segment of the society or a particular part of the society, and we carry forward those thought process on a particular group of people. So for that, we need to come out of that subjectivity towards objectivity. So as a researcher, as a social scientist, as a person of a master in diaspora community, I should move towards the the objective forms of understanding the society than subject, right? So when I say subjective, it is more of bias, prejudice. When I say bias, it is not only related to negativity, but also positivity. For example, if I have a kind of positive connotation towards a particular segment of the people, these people are very, very shrewd. These people are very knowledgeable. Without knowing, without understanding, or without doing any reviews or without doing any research on it, if I have that type of perception on a particular group, then it is also called subjectivity. It is not only, it is also called a bias, it is also called a prejudice. Means that it doesn't mean when you say subjective only the negativity, it is also positivity. Unless if you have not proven it, right? When you say objective in social reality or in social science research, a person should have raw data or empirical data, empirical evidence or data to prove that what you want to say, right? For example, the same, if you have done a kind of research, you have collected a data to say that this segment of people are very knowledgeable on very knowledgeable indigenous practices on the health perspectives, right? So you have the data. If someone asks how you say that these are having a indigenous good indigenous practices towards health, you say that no. I have done an ethnographic study. I have observed them, and from there I come to the conclusion that these people are having the very highly knowledge about the how to heal certain health issues inside their community, right? So we as a social scholars move towards subjectivity towards objectivity. So when we say subjective elements of social reality, we say that uh, and these are based on how individuals perceive, interpret, and give meaning to social experiences. So, perception can differ from person to person based on background beliefs and influence. I have given an example, examples for you that we interpret and give meaning to social experiences with our limited knowledge. Okay. So, subjective elements are important in understanding human feelings, motivation, and interpretation. Sometimes it will be helpful. They help us study society from an individual or emotional perspectives, right? So interaction between the objective and subjective reality. Both elements shape our social actions and understanding. Objective structure influence how we think, but we also interpret and respond to them in a personal ways. So objective structures is to interpret the data, is to support uh, the problems that we have taken subjectively, right? And society is created and maintained through this constant interaction between external systems and individuals meanings, right? So both when you say subjective and objective, your objective will help your subjective thought process or subjective perception will help you to raise doubt, to form questions, okay, to find out hypothesis in order to have data to support your hypothesis or data. So subjective uh, thought process or subjectivity towards society will help the researcher to frame hypothesis, right? Uh, when you say in a simple term, when you say hypothesis, to raise doubt, all right? So when you say the characteristics of social facts, we have also learned the email Tritium concept that the social facts are patterns of behavior and thinking to external to individuals, and the society as a network of social relationships. Society is built on interactions among individuals. That's what we have learned. Social relationship include family ties, friendship, work, and relations. These relationships are structured, guided by rules and expectations. All right. So a role of values, norms, and institutions. We will learn it what is value and norms and institutions later part. But shared beliefs about what is good or bad is called a values. Shared beliefs about what is good or bad. Okay. So one society's values cannot be the values for another society, but values means shared beliefs. Okay. The particular community has some kind of beliefs. It is shared with all the people of that particular community. Norms. That is rules that guide behavior. So how I have to behave in the society. For example, you take norms when you say uh, in marriage or in kind of especially in the funeral or death, you have a lot of rules and regulations in the society, right? Any society they have certain types of norms. You see that in a particular village they follow certain types of norms, even which may not be the norms to the villages of the same district or the same state. They have a different norms, as kind of change in those norms in the village itself. So that rules and guide behaviors which I have to how I have to behave in a particular circumstances, right? And institutions organize systems like family, religion, education, law, and uphold values and norms. So, institutions, it's a broader terms how uh, that will help you to go ahead with your values and norms. Okay, so you have dynamic and evolving nature of society. As I have said, Emil Durkheim says that the society will evolve, right? Will evolve means it will go one stage to another stage, will will move towards a particular things to the another one. That means that it will evolve through adopting various cultures, various norms, various values. What is a value or what is norms 2 decades back may not be the value or norms now. Okay, doesn't mean that society is uh, uh, disqualified or the norms values are getting away. No, the society is evolving. For example, the dress code during the marriage 2 decades back, 20 years back, it will be different. Now they wear suit and everything. It is different. Means that the society is evolving. Society is adopting. The culture is being adopted, or uh, there is a technological intervention into the culture. All right. So society is always changing due to technology, culture, economy, and politics. New values, lifestyles, and institutions emerge over time. And today you see that US has laid tax 27 percentage on Indian products when it is being exported. Will do you think will it affect the norms and values, especially in the diaspora community? It will affect, all right. It will definitely affect of the transmission of the product from one here to US. So it is going to it's a political thing which is changes, which is yeah, push the society to evolve, right? So it is not something technology cannot interfere into society, or technology cannot interfere into society, social or social pattern of the society. Not we cannot say like that. It is always the technology has a major impact on the society's values, norms, and cultures. So new values, lifestyles, institutions emerge over time. So sociologists study both stability and change to understand society better. So these are the key learnings that we have learned on this. And when we are move also to the scientific method and study of social phenomena. When you say the scientific method, how we are making the study is more scientific, right? So when you say social research is scientific, we have a systematic way to study and understand reality. Systematic way. And it's based on evidence, as I have said, logic and observation. When you say evidence, logic, and observation, it is empirical. Means that you have first-hand data with you to prove the fact that you are saying. Okay. For example, if you want to say that the marriage culture has evolved, you evolved. That's what your fact. Okay, evolved in the tribal culture. That was your your studies output. That's what you want to prove it. When you say this, the tribal communities marriage system has evolved. You should have studied or you should have data how it was 10 or 20 or 30 years back, their dress code, their culture pattern, their communication during the marriageal ceremony, and their practices. Everything need to be studied, and those things need to be studied at present, and you need to compare and you need to say. So for that, you need to study the entire system of the tribal culture marriage, and for that, out of that, you will have in your hand evidence, logic, and observation. So that will lead to clarity, consistency, and you test the stability as well as it is testable, and you have the replicability. It is very, very important term, replicability. When other researcher comes and does the same other tribal community, it should be replicable. Means that the same or the similar, we cannot get it the same, but a similar output or the fact need to be identified. Otherwise, it is not, your study is not replicable. So the importance of objectivities and value neutrality, that makes social science research more scientific. As I have said, we should move towards objectivity. So, objectivity means simply it is avoiding personal bias or emotions in research. I should not be emotional, right? For example, if I want to study uh, the 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 children who are the victims of sexual abuse, definitely it will give a lot of emotional disturbance to us. But as a researcher, I need to balance my emotions. I should not cry in front of the child when I collect data. I should be very stable, and I should not have any personal bias towards the child. The personal bias, if I want to study when the children of the victims of sexual abuse, I should not have bias that their parents are not they have not monitored the child well, or I should not have the bias that the child may have some problem. I should not have the bias that the child may be the reason for the dress code, may be the reason for the abuse. I should not have any bias, right? I should be the researcher. I should have more objective. I should not have bias. Then only you can probe into the case, right? Very, very important. If I have a bias, I will not probe into the case. I will not ask many questions, because I concluded myself that because of the dress code of the child is a reason for the abuse. If I have the bias in me, then I will not probe into. On the other hand, if I am too much emotion, I will not probe into. I will stop because I am burst. I lost my control on my emotions. All right. So very, very important to control emotions and overjoy also. Enjoying. Okay, if I go and understand the dance culture of tribal community, I need to observe how they are dancing, the dress code, what the prompt they are using, what the material they are using for their prompt, and everything I need to observe. Instead, I dance with them, emotional, and I lost my control of what need to be observed. Okay, then I losing my emotions. So emotion in research is very, 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 very key factor in research. And value neutrality means the researcher should not let personal values affect the study. Personal values. Okay. You may have a good personal value as a researcher or as a person that I should not lie, right? And I should not mm, get anger, right? But the respondent of your research gets anger, and you should not impose your personal values, or else you should not tell that if a person gets anger, he is not a good person. That is maybe your personal value. So you should not post that into the respondent. Okay. So what it means, everything, whether objectivity, controlling emotions, value neutrality, it all helps ensure fair and accurate results. That we should keep in mind. So if I do this, I will go and ensure a fair and accurate result. So that I can come to the conclusion or the fact which is highly reliable, highly replicable. If we lose all those things, then the replicability gets challenged. The fact, the evidence for my fact gets challenged, right? So very important in terms of that. Stages of scientific research, as I have said that, uh, observation, hypothesis, a data collection, analysis and interpretation, theory formation are the stages of scientific research. Can anyone say what is observation? What is observation is all about?
Observation, in my opinion, is study.
Study, right? Thank you. What is the difference between observation and seeing or looking?
We observe
Seeing,
through seeing and looking, sir.
we observe through seeing and looking. I see in my room. I see lot of books behind me.
Yes.
Lot of newspapers. This side two chairs are there. Some switch boxes there whatsoever. I am seeing everything. Today you have taken a bike and come here. You might have or traveled or whatever you have done, or you are at your home. We see many things. All see everything. It's an observation, or is there any difference between seeing and observation?
In seeing, there is no expectations, but in observations, we want to get some output from that observation.
Very good,
Some,
very good. Yeah, continue if you want to say.
that's it, sir. That is my point.
Thank you, Mr. Veera. I hope your name is.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Any other? It's good answer. It's good. Any other answers I can expect?
Sir, observation is the recording in the mind, little bit deeper than seeing. Just the memory you keep with you.
Okay, little bit deeper, and we record it. That's what
Sure.
Mr. Gurpreet wants to say. Thank you. Any other? Okay. Yes, Sanjeev said we do observe through seeing and looking. Mr. Veera said it has some kind of purpose in it, and as Gurpreet said, we record it. Very good. I put another question posed to you. I want to study the urban community. Okay, how they are as a nuclear family, how they are spending their morning at the while they are preparing husband and wife or getting ready for the work job. Okay, I want to study how they sing it, and I want to observe the family. Okay, so what I will do? We say observation, but what I will do for that? What is my preparation for observation?
In most of the urban families, they are, if both husband and wife are working persons, they always, most of they are intended to do work, and based on their work timings, they will do their behaviors, all these things. When compared to meanwhile, is there any responsibility, children's responsibility? They send them to schools, all these things. Proper timing is there. They always concentrate on time based instead of emotion based like the things, because their main priority is to
No,
attend
no,
the
Mr. Veera, I'll put a question very in a slight manner, changing. What I prepare myself in order to before observation, what I prepare. I want to study their emotional status in the morning around 7 to 9 o'clock when they get ready for the job. Along with the children, they have to send them to school without any maid or support. Okay, what I prepare myself to observe it.
um,
We need to have, spare some time to observe, sir. We
Okay,
in other words, we have to be a part and parcel of that particular subject. Say for
very good. Yeah, yeah, you're good, correct.
so, for example, if we want to observe anything, we have to be, present there. Present there in the sense that we need to have to spare some time to study. Then only we can observe.
Okay, all right. Now, for example, it is very important for the learners of research. Even everyone learn research is something. If instead of me someone teaches it, he or she will say in a different way. Okay, because it gives lot of everyone's knowledge on research may differ, but it comes to the one conclusion that we should have data to prove our prove our fact. That's all. So if I want to observe the husband and wife and children, my objective of my observation is I need to clearly define what is my objective of my observation. I should state that what is my objective. For example, for this, what are the emotional burst out while they getting ready for the job, along with their getting ready of their children. Okay, this is my objective. So, what is the emotional burst out? That's what I want to study. Right. So, the objective must be very clear, so that I will observe what supposed to be observed.
Yes.
Okay. Because if I go at 7 o'clock into the as a participant, as an observant, okay, they don't know I am observing them. Okay. There are many things will happen. They will cook, they will clean the house, the children will get ready, they go to restroom, they brush their teeth. Many things will happen at 7 to 9. But there will be a conversation will go between husband and wife. The conversation will go between children and parents, where how they respond, that I need to observe. I need not to observe how they cook, whether they put onion in the curry or not. That is not my observation. Okay,
Sarveena,
whether whether they are fighting, whether they are helping each other, or that is not my observation. My only observation is to whether there is any emotional burst out that is happening
Yes.
when they are getting ready,
Yes.
when they are conversing with the children, when they are speaking with the spouse, speaking between them. Okay, how many times that burst out is happening? First of all, are they speaking? Even that is because of the burst out. If they are not at all talking, that is also burst out. Whether they are seeking help, there is no emotional touch. So these only I need to observe. So observation is a technique of data collection, where you should be very clear what you need to observe from the reality, what you need to observe from the respondents. For that, as a researcher, I need to be very clear of my objective of my study. Otherwise, we will go and we will be blank what to observe, and we will be writing everything, or we need to observe everything that is happening. There are many things will happen from 7 to 9, but My concern is what I need to study. Unless until if we don't have the purpose of the observation, we will lose our what to say, lose our
Objective.
lose our data, or we lose our connect with the study, right? So it's very very important to what I need to observe. Then second thing is hypothesis. Any idea on a hypothesis? What is hypothesis?
Sir, is it imagination?
What is hypothesis?
This is conclusion. In the imagination, we will be expecting this research conclusion.
Okay, in a simple term,
Imagination of conclusion.
imagination of conclusion. Okay,
In other words, it is thinking.
thinking.
Sir, an idea about the result.
Idea about the result. For any research, what is very very important? If I want to do a research, what is very important, very very important thing I need to? Is my PPT is being shared? Are you able
Yes,
to
sir.
see the PPT? Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, trained manpower for data collection.
No, what is hypothesis? A trained manpower. What is needed for study? Okay, okay, trained manpower. No, I need an answer for what is hypothesis. Okay, in a simple term, what is needed for to research? What is need for research? Any research?
Data.
For any research, why we do research? Why I need to do a research? Why I need to do a research on tribal health?
For possible improvement.
Very good. Improvement of the tribal health of the tribal health, improving the tribal health.
Sir.
Okay. I need to have some answer for it. So, for any research, the researcher should have doubt, first of all.
Yes, for understanding some situation or phenomenon also.
Yeah, exactly. A researcher should have a doubt. A researcher should have questions. I should have a question in with me, how the tribal people are living in hill. If they get severe fever, if they get severe malaria or typhoid, how they take care of their health? I should have a simple question like this. These questions are called hypotheses. My doubt, the researcher doubt, is considered as a hypothesis. Very, very important. Without research questions, without hypothesis, a researcher cannot continue the research. If the answer is known, you need not to do a research. Am I right? If something is well known, we need not to conduct a research because it's well known. The need of the research is to identify something. The need of the research is to explore knowledge. The need of the research is to describe something which is hidden. The need of the research is to prove or disprove. Both are important. Not only prove, as well as disprove something or some phenomena out of your research. Are you able to understand? That particular term is called hypothesis. Hypothesis, in a very, very layman perspective, is a doubt of a researcher, assumption of the researcher, research question of the researcher. In hypothesis, we use the term hypothesis mainly in quantitative research when it is comes in numbers. Research questions we will use in a qualitative research when we study the characteristics or phenomena which is cannot be put into numerical, especially in psychology, especially when you are studying human behavior. We go in deeper of understanding so that we put research questions. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Or you need some explanation? Dominicos, sir, are you from where?
Mozambique.
It's a country?
Mozambique, yes, is for
Oh,
Africa.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, okay. I worked in Zambia for 2 years. Is it near or too far?
Yes, yes. Zambia is we are in semi organization called SADC.
Okay, okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Are you able to catch up my articulation? Because sometimes it is difficult.
Yes, yes. Yes, I do.
Okay, okay, okay.
Thank you.
If you have any questions, you can raise so that I need to articulate properly. Sometimes it will be difficult for you to understand.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Any questions? Any questions?
Sir,
Yeah.
sir,
Yes,
sir,
yes,
with regard
please.
to observe, sir, with regard to you have told that we need to have some specific idea as to what we have to observe, right?
Yes.
Like the emotional feeling in the so during our observation, what if we find out a new thing? So
What?
we need to ignore it and concentrate on the same thing, one
No, no, no.
particular thing. I mean, we are
Some technical problem. I didn't get your questions fully. Can you restate your question?
sir, during observe. Just now you told that we need to observe one kind.
One?
We are studying about the emotional kind of thing in during the morning.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Emotional feelings.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah.
So what if we find? So what if we find a new observation in addition to what we are observing? So do we need to ignore it during in our study,
yeah,
or
obviously.
we can include?
See, it's all researchers' independence, right? For example, if we will take a pure science. I am going to the Mars. I am going to the moon. Whether people can live or not, I need to identify water there. Whether there is a water or not, that is my one objective. That is my only one objective. So I am going to the moon to find out whether there is a water. If I find other kind of fuels there, for example, petrol or diesel or somewhere, I need not to ignore it because it is highly connected. Okay. I found water. In
Sir.
addition, you can write in your research paper stating that there are also fuels
Yes,
like petrol
sir.
or any
Sir.
other. The same way, for example, you are studying the emotions of those couples and
Yes,
along with the children. That is your
yes,
absolute objective of your research, and you are finding it.
yes,
You are finding it some other phenomena that is happening. You imagine that you have observed 50 families. There are particular phenomena that has happened almost 30 families. Then you can write it as like you have identified as a person who researched in on space. You can say that this is also identified. There is also conflict, but there is also supporting system, and they even though the families the couples fight within 10 minutes they rejoin again. I found in 30 families that there is a conciliation that is happening
yes.
within that 10 minutes or 30 minutes. They didn't prolong their conflict. You can say nothing wrong in it, but what you are observing should be the data, the fact should be supported with a lot of data. Understood? You can observe, but you need not observe which is not at all necessary for your study. So for example, you are studying the conflict, you are emotional, as well as you are talking something related to emotions. Okay, you want to know what is whether there is water in the moon or not, but you are also telling there is a fuel which is related to that, the same resource, same type of resource. So the same type of or same elements you can study. Nothing wrong in it. I hope I have somehow answered your question. Is that okay? Are you satisfied?
So in our study, we can mention the new issue also.
Issue also you can mention, which is related. So somewhat it should be related.
Sir.
It's not deviate from your study. Okay. So
Okay.
after hypothesis, I hope you have understood hypothesis. After hypothesis, we need to study. We need to collect data. For collecting data, we should use various methods like surveys, interviews, records, and it can be qualitative and quantitative study. We will further discuss on that. And we have analysis of interpretation. When you say analysis and interpretation, we analyze the data. It's a data. For example, it's a data, and it is a information. All data cannot be the information, right? For this data to become information, you need to analyze the data. Okay, analyze the data. Then only you can make it information. So analysis means you are doing some kind of mathematical thing, or you do a depth understanding of the data that you have collected to make it information, right? You collect the data. What is your gender? Okay, they are saying male and they are saying female. This is the data, and you make it information. You say that 50 percentage or 60 percentage of my respondents are female and 40 percentage of my respondents are male. Then it is information. For this you have done a percentage analysis. Okay, or else it's just a data, just numbers, or just text. You need to analyze. You put some mathematical calculation. It's a simple is percentage. Apart from that, you put lot of mathematical calculation to make that as a information, right? So analysis or interpretations helps us to make the data to become to inform to the public that this is what this is happening, right? So you have theory formulation. After the analysis and interpretation, you formulate the theory or you test the theory. That is ultimate. Theory means it's not we are going to give a theory or something like classical conditioning or any theory. You can do it if you are a good researcher. You can do form a theory. You can test the theory, or you can bring the fact what is happening in the society on your study. or in quantitative research, it is to support the theory. If you want to do a quality of life of women, working women, there is a quality of life theory. What are the parameters or indicators will say that if the person is having these many indicators, we can say that he is having good quality of life, right? So you want to study and you say that these indicators, okay, are fulfilled by working women, so that we can say that in my study 60% of the women, working women, are having good quality of life. Then this theory is proved, these indicators are proved, right? So you can test the theory, right? So for a scientific research, we should have observation, hypothesis, data collection, analysis and interpretation, theory formation, and distinctional between uh,
Sir,
between the science and yeah.
sir, in previous slide, the data collection is there, right? In
Yeah,
that, for example, how can we quantify the emotions, sir? For example, in previous example, some couple are in morning that time, how they are
yeah.
behaving, how much they will frustrated. How can we quantify the emotions? That is first one, sir. Uh, Second one, for example, we are getting the data like whether it is male or female, what is our age, in between all these things. These are the
Hmm.
subjectivity related data only. Objectivity, in that objectivity is, for example, frustration, angry towards the children. How can we, is there any possible way to quantify that one?
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Dominic, thank you, Veera. It's a wonderful questions.
Mhm.
Dominicus, I'll come to you. You have raised your hand. I will answer to Veera, then I'll come to your question.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure.
Yes. The first thing is Mr. Veera has asked how to uh, bring the kind of that aggression or emotional, how to value it, how to give in numbers. That's what Veera asked. As I have said, there are two types of research. One is quantitative and one is qualitative. Here, the example which I have given is highly qualitative in nature. For example, Veera comes to my family and observes my family in the morning 7 to 9. And my wife and I are fighting, and I use foul language with the kids. Okay, this is what he has observed. See, saw me that I burst out. Okay, he should write it. Respondent A, husband or wife, he should mark it such a way, right? Used foul language. Okay, very aggressive. Beaten his wife, right? This is the things he should note it. He cannot write what are the foul language he used or something like that. Okay, he cannot go very deeper of all those things. He can just narrate it, everything. And he goes to the another family, and again he observes. No, here there is a cordial relationship. There is no issues. They are happy. Okay, they are mutually understanding and everything. That should be it is highly qualitative in nature. We cannot again rating, but when it comes to when he gives the output, my case is one, and another next family is case two, case three. What he has observed out of 50 family, he can. This is called content analysis. You have the content, right? You have the content. You have to analyze it. So out of 50 family, 40 family, the educated men are using foul language. Those are going to office. Even you can say that which are the people, okay, based on their occupation, you can segregate, right? Next one, I go for the next question of Mr. Veera. He's asked age, sex, and all. It is a subjective. It is not mean subjective. It is a independent variable. We call it variable. We will discuss later. It is a variable. For example, a male, you have taken a data. Okay, in this variable, you say that out of your research, male is more aggressive than female. You can say, for example, you have noted the age between 25 to 30, 30 to 35, 30 to 40. The person between 30 to 35 are more aggressive than 20 to 25 and 25 to 40 because they are mid career. You can say it is an independent variable. Age is an independent variable. No one can decide my age. Today my age is 36, tomorrow it's 37. So age differs. Is my answer okay, Mr. Veera?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Understood.
Thank you. Now Mr. Dominicus can ask question.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So I want to know about the quantitative research. How many people I can interview to formulation of my theory in my study? Because sometimes it's a huge community. I can't interview like 3,000-4,000 people. So how many people is better to interview to make my research to formulation for my theory?
Okay, it is Mr. Dominicus. Your study is quantitative. It is in
Yes.
numbers.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay. If you Google search it, there is a sampling calculation. For that, you should know the population size. Population means what is your study population. For example, I want to study the students' behavior doing a diaspora course at the IGNO. Okay. If I go to IGNO office, if I ask, they will give there are 1,252 learners under this study. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. For just for example, I am giving 1,252. This is my population. Okay. The same way you have the population for your study. For example, if you are studying on children or if you are studying on children in the school or children in the community, you may have some defined population. Okay. In that Google search, if you type it, 5,000 is your population, and there is a error statement, sampling error, accuracy level. You have to give at least 95 as a accuracy level, and it will calculate what should be your sample size. If you go below that, then you will end up in sampling error. That means your fact may not be validated. We cannot say it is not validated, it may not be validated. Okay. So that you can use that application or that just in Google sampling, calculating my sampling, then you type it, you get it. Is
Got
my
it.
answer okay?
Yes, yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. Any other? Any other question?
Sir,
Hmm.
sir, I mean, from curriculum point of view at a higher level, like for example, if a student is pursuing PhD, then qualitative method or quantitative method, it requires lot of time. Okay, sir. And the study will not be completed unless we study in both in quantitative or qualitative methods, right? So, for example, take our example, like we are having time constraints, right? And if I am doing one qualitative study, my study will be based on, I mean, interviewing 1 or 2 person, right, sir? So, so my study will be completely based on one single point. I mean, contacting only one single person, right? So my conclusion or what my study would be will be based on that single person's interview or study only. So can that study
Mr.
be taken?
Sanjeev, with a single person we cannot do any study. Okay.
Sir, what if,
Unless
sir, I'm talking about time constraints when we study or we make a research with regard to time constraint.
any factor, probably, Mr. Sanjeev, if you are going for quantitative, at least you have 30 to 40 samples, at least minimum. Okay.
What if qualitative?
Qualitative, it is which is human behavior or something like you do a case study. For example,
Yeah.
which you can do as one sample, but in scientific research, it is highly possible. Scientific means I am telling in a pure science.
Okay.
Okay, even that is not possible because it should go more test. Okay, either it cannot be possible with a single person studying a single data.
Sir.
So why we are going, as Dominic has said, he wants to know what should be the sample size because he cannot study all 4,000.
Yes.
Okay, out of 4,000, he at least, if he put that sampling calculation, it will be almost 200 or 250 or 300 he must study out of 4,000. Okay,
Sir.
so sample size should determine, because when I study, I'm going to say that children in slums are having more tempt to drug abuse. If I want to say that, I cannot study only one single child in the slum area. Rather, at least I should study 400 or 500 children to say that children in the slums are more vulnerable to drug abuse.
Yes,
Because
sir.
I'm generalizing. Do you get my point?
Sir.
I am
Yes.
generalizing, telling that children in slums, I am not telling 500 children in slums. No, I am telling children in slums are more vulnerable to drug abuse. In order to say that, I need to have a ample number of sample.
Right.
Otherwise, I cannot.
Sir.
Uh,
Sir. Sir,
I
I
am
have
taking
another.
into your matter of time constraint, because working
Right.
class, you are doing this study, but limit your study problem. Okay, where
Okay.
you can have a handful of 40 or 50 samples, so that you can generalize. You do with a one entity or one set of people.
Sir.
From there, you have to go ahead. But I don't think, or it is, I can, on my limited knowledge on research, I can strongly say that with one or two samples, you cannot finish your kind of a project.
Sir.
That is not possible.
Sir, another related question. Say, for example, if we want to find out how many number of families are living in a particular apartment, okay, we have two two options. One is direct contact. Okay, sir. Door to door contacting, or we can ask one single person. Let's say, for example, like the watchman or whoever is looking after maintenance or whoever looking after that apartment.
Okay.
So our observation, my point will be clear, no, sir? In both ways, I can find out.
Yeah, you can find out. So what is the purpose of your study? You want to know how many are living in that apartment?
Yes.
Is your study?
Yes.
Is what is the outcome of that study?
Number of people per.
Now itself you are telling that I want to know how many numbers are there in the apartment. It is well known. You can get it from the security or from the apartment owner.
Yes.
What is the purpose of your study? Just you want to know how many are living.
Yes.
What is the study?
I'm asking as an
it
example.
It is not a study. No, even for example constraint, for example concern, yes, it's fine. But what is the study? You want to study the quality of life of people living in that apartment.
No, that's a different issue, sir.
That's a different issue. But your study itself cannot be the one that how many are living in the apartment. That cannot cannot be the study.
Okay.
Part of the study. So, Mr. Sanjeev, it can be the part of the study. How many are living in that apartment?
Okay.
But that cannot be the entire study. But your example is very good. You can get that how many from the each door to door you can go and get how many families are there, or from the watchman. For that particular question, you can get the answer from both ends.
Yes.
That is absolutely correct.
So selecting the topic must be the priority one, sir. Most important one.
Exactly. Most important. That you should look into your time constraint when you are selecting the problem.
Sir. Okay, sir. Got it. Okay, sir.
All right. Any other? Okay, we go further. That is distinction between natural science and the social sciences. We have seen that natural science like physics or biology study the physical world using experiments. Social science like sociology study human behavior, which is more complex and emotional. So human behavior cannot always be predicted like physical laws. Very important. We cannot predict. Today Rex will be very happy welcoming your question. Tomorrow I will be anger. Oh, you are asking this many questions. Probably, right? But if I switch on the fan, it will on if the electricity is there. If not, then or if it is repaired. So it's a common, right? Physics is common, but the science is the social sciences differ because we are dealing with human mind. Very important. So qualitative, quantitative research approach, as I have said, based on numbers. Qualitative focus on feelings, experience, and meanings. And for the example which I have given, it is qualitative because we are going to do a study on how the couples are behaving in the family. Right? So we have empirical means and we have discussed it. Empirical challenges in applying scientific methods to social reality is human behavior is emotional, unpredictable. We have discussed. So theoretical approaches. When you say theoretical approaches, we have functionalism approach by Emil Durkheim, and society is system made up of interconnected parts like organs in the body. So this was a functionalist theory. When you say conflict theory, we have Karl Marx has given a conflict theory. There is a two class always, it will fight conflict. Okay. And we have a symbolic interactionism theory, focuses on everyday social interaction and how people create meaning. So these theories will help us to understand society. Okay. How we are understanding the society. That is very important. Sometimes we feel that theory is something will not be helpful in reality. No. We need to understand theories. We need to understand functionalism theory. We need to understand the Karl Marx theory. How the organism will fight. How these both people will, bourgeoisie and proletariat will fight. Employer and employee will fight. And what purpose? Who will win? How they will win? And all those things we need to study. All right. Structuralism studies underlying structures like language, culture that shape behavior. Our language and culture shapes behavior. The belief that social patterns are formed deep roots beneath surface behavior, right? These are the certain things we need to study in deep. Okay, so very important aspect need to be studied. Just a minute. So understanding the reality, understanding the society is very important in the eyes of the theories, right? So post-structuralism. So when you say structuralism, it is like believes that social patterns are formed by deep roots that is focused on binary options like male, female, good in human thought. Okay, we always the religious beliefs male, female. This binary oppositions will fight. Okay, culture and society can be added like language system. Okay, so how this flourish, right? And challenges of the idea of fixed structures and meanings, believes that meanings are fluid, changing based on context and interpretation, focuses on power, language, and discourse. So how the society is shaping itself, how it is being shaped. Why the problem which is considered as a problem in India may not be the problem in US. Okay, the divorce, we consider that as a big issue in India, but the divorce is not an issue at all in US. I have my paternal uncle living in Australia. He was arranging marriage for his daughter. I asked, out of curiosity, I asked him how many people will come, uncle, for the marriage. He replied me stating that there will be around 50. Imagine in India, we spend at least 5 to 6 lakhs for the marriage. There, they don't spend that many amount. They spend just for 50 people. And he said, Rex, here the marriage and all, we don't invite. And the if my he is saying that if my daughter lives with him, or he lives with my daughter for more than 5 years, it's a magic there, right? So that is a system is totally different, but that is not a problem. But here it's a problem. A middle class family or anyone going for a divorce, it is something it's uh, not acceptable in the society. So they bear it everything, all the harassment or anything. Then they will keep quiet and lead the family uh, as for the children or for the society cause or something like that. Why it is? It is because of the culture. It is because of how the society is shaped itself, right? You know that when Dr. Manmohan Singh was a finance minister or prime minister, there is a kind of economic crisis. US and all fell down, and that inflation hit even US, but India was stable because the saving of individual is it's by practice we will save money. Okay, if I earn 10,000, I tend to the Indian culture itself. I need to save. I need to invest in gold. I need to invest in land. So I must I by practice I will save 2,000 or 3,000 as a saving. So this culture has made the India during that 2005 or 6, that time is very, very stable because of the saving culture of Indian people. Why it is? It is because of culture. It is because of the society is shaped, right? So this shaping the shape of the society is very, very important when we look into it. So theory, we learning is a theoretical approach, and the unit 4 speaks about the understanding social reality through different perspectives. Okay, how I am going to understand? Focus on foundational thinkers who shaped sociology. Who is the father of sociology? Auguste Comte. Auguste Comte is the father of sociology. Believed in positivism, using scientific methods to study society. Use scientific method, positivism, right? Thinking that the society will evolve. So Auguste Comte using scientific method to study society. Karl Marx emphasized class conflict. Max Weber focused on individual agency, values, and role of ideas in social change. Okay, so we have Mahatma Gandhi, we have Nelson Mandela, we have certain people who has influenced the society. That's what Max Weber says. They have the individual values to influence the society. How they are able to influence the society? Because they are able to represent the maximum thought process of the society. Understand? So how they are able to influence. So Emil Durkheim studied social facts and collective conscience and how society maintains stability. And contemporary approaches. So feminist perspective, postmodernism, and subaltern studies focuses on marginalized groups. Okay, aims to give voice to the oppressed and rewrite history of from below, like Dr. Ambedkar, who is the subaltern done as subaltern studies or woman. Okay, postmodernism theories on argues that society is fragmented and there is no single truth. Okay, so feminist move to the subaltern studies, and feminist perspective it is study for the gender. Okay, study for the and voicing for the women, right? So construction of reality. So bring the construction into reality, the reality construction. Okay. So reality is not fixed. Language, culture, and ideology shape, and what we see as a real is very important. So critique of positivism. Positivism believes in using scientific methods to study society. Okay. Emphasize the need for subjectivity, interpretation, and understanding meaning in social research. Okay. And the unit 4 gives the classical thinkers like Comte, Marx, Weber, okay, and how we have to use scientific things and everything. So it's very, very important and all those things. I also give the important questions on my last slide, which is asked in your question paper, taken from IGNO question papers. So it may help you to understand the uh, various questions to prepare yourself for the exam purpose. But moreover, study the material for the learning. So, and clearing the degree, getting the degree is different. But how I am the person after doing the MA in this course is different. That for that we need to study a lot to understand, right? That's what my presentation today. Any questions? Any questions? I cannot take a screenshot. Yes, Mr. Veera.
Small, with my curiosity, I'm asking, sir, what are the, whether it is related to this, sir, uh, what are the 5 or 10 main factors to analyze the society, just as a layman?
Analyze the
Society, whether it is going forward or backward or stable, not anything, nothing in my mind. What
okay.
are the 10 to 5 to 10 factors? Mm.
Mr. Veera, it's wonderful. You use the nice word out of curiosity. Curiosity is very, very important. You see, the children ask many questions because they are very curious. Why cow is not flying? Why we are not able to fly? It's all out of curiosity. We should have curiosity. Thank you for that term as well as thank you for the question. You want to know how to study the society, what I have to study it. Mr. Veera, we need to first think on what research problem I am going to take. Okay. Now let us imagine that we don't know what is the research problem. Okay. If Veera wants to study the society, so what I have to first do, I have to read some materials to understand the society, right? So for understanding the society, do I want to study the cultural transmission that is happening in the society? Okay, that is the first one. If I want to study the cultural transmission, which society I am going to study? Tribal or rural or urban? Okay. In that, if I am taking tribal, what tribal I am going to take? Whether Katunayakan, whether Irulas, or any other tribe. In that case, if I am taking the particular tribe, where I am going to study? What I am going to study? What is cultural transmission? So you you if you have listened to me from broader to I'm coming to specific.
It's,
Yeah, right?
yes.
Your research should be very much specific. Okay. When I ask my students what you have learned from the class, they will say, Sir, I learned many things. I learned everything. I have changed after doing this course. What you have changed? What you have learned? What is that something? Tell me. Go very specific. Okay. This is the time when you are reading this, when we are learning out of this course, we also should think and pondering upon to go very specific on my research. How much specific I am going, how much, that much visibility for your research you will get. Right? Go specific. When you go specific, you yourself will understand what I need to study. Okay. For example, if the cultural transmission of Cotton tribes in Tamil Nadu. Okay. Then the cultural transmission during death, cultural transmission during marriage, cultural transmission during birth, cultural transmission during their rituals. This is what, that's what I'm going to study. That's all. 10 years back, how it was, now how it is. Matter is forward. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Going very specific, you can yourself can narrate what you supposed to do it.
Yes.
Any other?
Sir, just a minute, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, what
please.
is the actual meaning of a case study, and what
Ah.
is the difference between research study and project report? Research report and project report. For example, sir, we have a separate subject on project report, right?
Okay.
And we have one question relating to research report in MSO2. So project report can be a case study as well, or
No.
research report.
Right.
Research report and project report are the same.
Same.
All are
Better
same.
you ask. No. You have to. No. Wait. I'll see your course. I should not guide you differently, because how the IGNO has put up, I don't know. But
Sir.
normally, no. Wait. I'll clarify. I'm just checking your material. Just a minute. Now you tell me what you have.
What is the meaning of a case study? What is the difference between research report and project report? Because, sir, we have one question of research report in MSO02. And another subject.
MDIP 001 is your project work, right?
Yes.
Okay.
MSO is one subject in which we need to write one research report. MSO 002. The class which we are having is about the same, sir. MSO 002.
002 is a theory.
Yes, sir.
Ah.
So in theory, one question will be there, sir. For example, last year's assignment, there were 3 questions relating to research report on education and say society and street vendors or something like that, right?
Okay.
So my point is, project report and research report, are they both are the two things same? I mean, are they both same? Another point is, what is the actual meaning of case study?
Okay. See, first one is your project report. See,
sir,
now you are learning project paper, right?
Sir.
Research paper.
Right.
For that, you have to conduct a research. You have to practically,
Yes.
you have to do a research.
Yes.
Then you come up with a report. That is a project report. Okay.
Yes.
That is a project report. There will be examination for that. You will be conducted viva. Clear?
Yes.
That is
we will be conducted viva also.
Oh, they will conduct viva. Otherwise, how they will give degree? They will conduct viva. Okay. Then you will have a. Then what you have asked? Case
Question
study.
in question in
Case study.
Question relating to research report.
That's what I am telling you. That is what a research report. Project is a research report.
Sir.
Okay, project is a project. Your MPI 1, 2 or 02 is a project work, it's a research report. Then case studies and all, you ask case studies and all, it is a part of the collecting data. See, you want to do a case study on women migration. That is a case study. You
Sir.
go to one women migrant and study entirely her the problem, the challenges they faced while she migrated. That is a case study.
Sir.
Case study on
Sir.
women migration. Okay. But case study can be reported in the project work. You may not have a project, a separate case study or something like that. Okay. The better person to ask this is consult your study center.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Or write a mail to them. Is there any difference? But
Sir.
with my knowledge, because I have done MA Political Science with IGNO,
Okay, sir.
project we need to submit and there is a Viva. Okay. That
Sir.
is 100% I am sure. But the other questions like case study or something like that, whether they have a separate paper or not, they may not have it. But if you find there is a separate paper, please ask your study center regarding it.
Yes, sir. Sir, because my point is, sir, even for writing a research report in a question, I mean, relating to a question in one subject, we need to have some idea on that subject, sir. Unless and until we don't have any,
So
say,
that,
for example.
for that only I am teaching, Mr. Sanjeev.
Sir,
So that
sir.
Yeah.
Sir, for example, sir, one simple study, sir. Say, for example, the number of people going through Hindu paper in one particular community, right, sir? If it is a question in MS or research paper, so we need to have that idea about that thing, sir. Unless or until we don't have that idea, we cannot answer that query, sir. Similarly, for project report, we need to go through the entire process for completing that project. So, in my opinion, both are same, sir. Both are related to research only, sir. Am I correct, sir?
Yeah. No. You may not have two practical. I think you may have only one practical, that is project work.
Sir.
You may not have other than one practical for social science. You may not have it for this paper. There will be a one practical that you do a study and you submit the study and you will be conducted viva for that. That's all. Apart from that, you may not have anything like case study or something like that. Case studies and all part and parcel of your research. You cannot do a separate case study, not separate exam for it. They will not ask you to submit. Everything is in process. Okay.
Sir.
All right. If you have any doubt, you ask study center or you contact me. Not an issue. Okay. Thank you very much for joining. We'll wind up. Any other questions from anyone? Okay. Thank you very much for making this very highly interactive. And you asked many questions. We have completed block 1. We move to the next class, block 2 tomorrow. Okay. Thank you.